Hi, I'm 20 male and I have not seen my mother since I was 12. When I was 4 years old, my father passed away in a car accident, and after that, it was just me and my mom. My mom took care of me until I was 12, and the moment she found someone else to be with, she did go off with that person. I am trying not to sound very vindictive about it, but it is the truth of the situation. My mom was never there for me. What happened after my father passed away was my mom had to be on her own. My father's family cut contact with her, and my mother was not going to go to her side of the family. She, being the strong, independent woman that she was, decided to be the one who took care of me. The 8 years I was with my mom were extremely difficult for both of us. She had me when she was 18, and she was a young person herself, so while she was a single mother, she was also someone who was in her early 20s. She wanted to enjoy her young days, and it was difficult for her to balance her fun and responsibilities. When I look back at those days, I was surely neglected a lot in the beginning, and there were days when there was not much to eat around the house and my mother was out partying. But I do not hold those bits against her. When I was 9, my mom decided to sort her life out. She enrolled herself in a class and decided to work her way through uni to get a degree. When she joined the classes, she met someone. I would call him Jay. Jay was her classmate. I was 10 when Jay started visiting the house frequently. I kind of assumed they were close friends, but as you guys have figured out already, Jay and mom were dating, which is fine. When I was 11, my mom told me that she and Jay had been dating and she wanted me to be okay with Jay moving in with us. It was less of a question and more of a statement. I did not have anything else I could have said, and I did not feel like it was my place to say anything anyway. Eventually, when my 12th birthday rolled around, my mom told me that she was going to marry Jay and she wanted me to stay over with my late father's family because the wedding would be a whole child-free thing. I was sad about it because why did my mom not want me at the wedding? But at the same time, I was excited about meeting my grandparents who I have not met until now. When I finally went over to their house, I would say that I was accepted with a lot of love that I had never felt before. It was because I looked a lot like my father, and my grandparents did not really have the time to process the grief of losing their only son. I suppose in their head, they got the chance to redo everything that went wrong with my dad, or so I've heard when they've had those conversations. But because of how welcoming they were, I kind of got integrated into the family, and by the time I realized that the days had gone by, it was already a week after the wedding. I wondered how come my mother had not called me at all, but at the same time I did not want to be too upset about it. I thought that perhaps she was out spending time with Jay, vacationing and everything, and did not call her until I was sure she was back. When I called her, my mom cut the call short. She told me she would come to visit me soon, but never gave me a date. I tried calling her every day, but she did not pick up. It was strange. It was painful. It felt like suddenly my mom did not want to be my mom, and I had to get used to that. I didn't know what I was expected to do. I kind of just kept waiting for my mom, who simply never came back. Every call went unanswered. Every voicemail went unacknowledged, and I did not know what I was supposed to do. After 2 years of waiting for her, I kind of accepted that she was not coming back. I made my social media accounts around that time, and when I looked up her name, something I really should not have, I saw that my mother had a family with Jay. She had her first child and was pregnant with the second child, and she was so happy. Based on the way she was chatting in the comments, it was obvious she did not want others to know that I even existed. When I sent her a friend request, I was blocked. I thought that must have been a mistake, that my account was just glitching out, and I made a new account to add her again, and she blocked me again. After this happened for the third time, I realized that my mother did not want me around her. The realization was painful for a 14-year-old, but you know what? I got through it. The mental agony I felt is hard to put into words, but it was there, and I went through it. I was lucky that my grandparents were kind to me. I sorted my life out and I ended up here doing a degree from a good enough college in a subject I like. But you know how things are. Life is never all good. My mom contacted me 3 days ago after not contacting me for 8 years straight. She was super sweet on the call. She mentioned that she had gotten busy with everything regarding Jay for the past 8 years, and now that they have gotten a divorce because things didn't work out between them, she wants to reconcile with me. She said she wants to be a good mom to me, and I really could not talk to her. I felt so overwhelmed at the moment. I decided to tell her that she abandoned me for 8 years, and now she's expecting that I'll take her back with open arms. When I said that to her, not only did she deny me, she tried to gaslight me, saying that she had called me on my birthdays and I never picked up. When I insisted that never happened, she changed her tune and said that my grandparents were the ones who got the calls and chose not to forward the message to me because they hated her. I found it hard to believe and told her that she blocked me on social media, which she could have used to wish me, and she told me that she had not blocked me even though I still have those 3 accounts, and I can see that my mom had blocked me. I do not know what I'm expected to do anymore. I hate this. The conversation was cut short, but this time because of me, and since the conversation, I've been pretty closed off. I feel like I'm TA for not wanting to reconcile with her, but at the same time, I do not want to do it because she abandoned me. What do you guys think? AITA? Update 1. Hey everyone, thank you so much for the overwhelming support. I was not expecting so much from you guys at all. You guys were so sweet to me. I have never felt so accepted and so validated until now. I am an introvert and I struggle to make friends because of my raging abandonment issues. But having you guys pull through has really helped me mentally. As far as everything you guys have said, I do agree that she is being opportunistic and the chances of her going away the moment she finds another man is extremely high. But at the same time, I wanted to have a healthy relationship with my mom because I have not had her around for a long time and I want her around. I want to have a good relationship with her, but I do not know if that's possible. Every time I consider rekindling our communication, I get panic attacks. Maybe I'm not ready for this. I do not know, and I do not know if I have to decide right now. Update 2. You guys were right about the fact that she was going to leave the moment she found someone. It's been a week since my last post, and she has already found a new person to date. I called her to rekindle communication, and she told me she cannot spend time with me because she's dating someone new. This happens every time. I feel like I really should not have listened to her or thought she was being genuine. She lied to me the last time, and she lied to me this time. And I fell for it both times. I feel so worthless. I feel like I'm a stupid little kid even though I'm 20 and I should have known better. But at the same time, I'm trying not to let it get the best of me because I kind of knew that this was going to happen. I feel like I should have seen this coming. But at the same time, I know this is not my fault and I should not be so hard on myself. But it is so hard to not be emotional right now. Update 3. Hey everyone, thank you so much for being so sweet with me in the direct messages. I have been focused on the things that matter to me, like my degree and my internship. I'm trying my best to not feel terrible about my mom. She's been ignoring me again, and I've sent her 2 or 3 messages since my last update, and she didn't reply to any of them. She left me on seen, and I decided it would be better to just block her instead. I don't want her to get back in touch with me when her new boy toy gets tired of her. I do not want to feel like I'm an expendable option that she can come back to whenever she has the time off from dating. I do not want to be around her at all. I've told my grandparents about my conversation with my mom, and they were not very happy with the whole situation. They were honest with me about how the whole thing with my mom went. The reality is, when Dad passed away, my grandparents were there to support my mom, but she was the one who did not want any help. She cut off the conversation with them and refused any help from them. She started having a conversation with them again when she started dating Jay. She contacted them when she had dated Jay for a year and talked about how to have me move in with them, and when she got the chance, she went for it. I asked my grandparents why they did not tell me about this before, and all they said was that they did not want to ruin the image of my mother in my eyes. I hate that they did this because had I known this, I would have treated them differently from the first time we met, because at first I used to resent them for not staying in contact with my mom and helping her out post-marriage. I guess I have a lot of things in this world that I do not know. Hey, sweetie, I'm in my 40s, and take it from someone who's been in your shoes. Your mom is not going to be a good mother at all. Please do not entertain her at all. She had 8 years to be a good mother to you, and she chose to not do that because she was busy dating some other man. It is not fair to you at all. And I'm sure the moment she finds someone else to give her attention to, she would give them her attention and forget you existed. Please prioritize yourself. OP, you would be TA if you gave her the time of your day. Your mom is not the one who's going to stay with you. Please take care of yourself instead of trying to rekindle your relationship with her, because as everyone has already mentioned, I too think your mom will ignore you the moment she finds someone else to talk with. Next story. I've been debating about asking this, but the situation has turned into an all-out drama within my family. My sister Kylie and her husband are both vegetarians. They have two daughters aged 10 and 13, and they raise them on a vegetarian diet. My wife and I aren't against vegetarian meals. There's some great plant-based cuisine out there, and we forego meat often. Recently, they stayed with us for 2 weeks while my sister went on a business trip with her husband. She provided pre-prepared meals and snacks for her kids. The first few days we all ate vegetarian, but their stay with us coincided with my wife's week of darkness, and my wife likes chicken, liver, and some lean beef during that time. She told me she was really craving stuffed chicken breast, so I made some mushroom spinach stuffed chicken breast for her and heated up soup for the girls. The oldest asked if she could try some. She hasn't asked to try any of our food before, so I asked why, and she told me she has been trying some of her friends' lunches at school, and she's already tried Lunchables and deli meat sandwiches. I asked her if her parents knew, and she said no. Ultimately, I cut a chicken breast in half and let her try it. It's just chicken after all, not crack. Then the youngest wanted to try it. They liked it and ate it with their soup. The following day, I made my wife the traditional monthly meatloaf, and this time the girls ate our meal instead of one Kylie prepped for them. That's pretty much how the rest of their stay went. I'd let them try what I made if I cooked 2 meals, and let them decide if they wanted some of what I made for my wife or what their mother prepared. The girls visited with my parents, and from my understanding, the youngest let the cat out of the bag by asking for stuffed chicken like they had at Uncle's house. I learned this when my mother called me to hem me up about disrespecting Kylie's parenting style. She told Kylie about it, and I got it from my sister too. I let it roll off my back and didn't say anything. The girls were already trying things away from their parents. No point in pointing that out and potentially making my sister hover around them. However, the girls are now being fussy eaters and are questioning their parents as to why they can't have other things that they found they like, and I'm getting blamed for it. The only ones who don't think I was out of line are my father and wife. AITA here? NTA. These kids are 10 and 13. They're old enough to decide if they want to try foods other than vegetarian dishes. I think it would have been rather cruel to say no to them wanting to try what you had prepared. Sister needs to understand that perhaps her children do not want to maintain a vegetarian diet. They're trying food at school and your house because they are curious. Turning this into a huge thing might backfire on your sister. YTA if you agreed to feed your nieces as their parents requested. They were very thoughtful not to ask you to even prepare food for their kids and went through the trouble of preparing 2 weeks' worth of meals. You accepted their request. You knew full well what they, the parents, wanted. At no time were you asked to do extra, nor does it sound like the kids complained. You're the adult. You could and should have said no. Encourage them to enjoy what their parents left. They trusted you, and while you may think it's silly, you shouldn't have taken it upon yourself to insist that the kids can choose. You liked the control, and you knew they'd be upset because you kept it from them, waiting for the kids to let the cat out of the bag. Then you act surprised at their reaction. The kids' safety wasn't compromised at any point. You didn't do it because you felt they were undernourished or anything else. And you should have told them, hey, kid got curious and ate some chicken. Is it okay for them to share our meals? Again, YTA, don't offer to babysit for someone when the price is undermining their parenting. Next story. My sister has 4 kids, Maria, 16, female, Liam, 16, Willow, 13, and Teddy, 10. My sister made some really bad choices that led to her being disowned by our parents and left her very poor. Another thing to know is that she absolutely spoils Maria. We live in a country where special vegan items, vegan meat, etc., cost 3 times more than normal food. However, we have made plant-based dishes that are absolutely vegan friendly, but my niece won't eat them. Forgot to make that clear. Maria decided to become vegan when she was 14, and she demanded my sister buy her special vegan stuff. This meant much nicer things for her, while my other nephews and niece and I have to eat worse food. I usually send food anytime there is anything extra left over and usually lend her some money. When Maria became vegan and Liam told me about what they were eating, my family and I end up sending some sort of meat dish to them 2 times a week, but I also stopped lending my sister money. My sister finally got upset with me on Friday and asked me why I stopped helping her financially and only send non-vegan food because it's making Maria upset. And I told her that it's because of Maria. I told her that unless Maria stops being vegan and she stops spoiling Maria, I wouldn't help her. She hasn't talked to me since then, and I'm wondering if I'm the AH. Forgot to add. The rest of her kids are eating what is the equivalent to a slice of pizza and a bowl of cereal without milk per day if I don't help out. I'm not mad my niece is vegan. My own son is. I'm mad she's basically draining most of my sister's funds. People, I live in a place where veganism isn't very common. Things like soy milk and pound-by-pound veg meat isn't available here. NTA, you have no obligation to bail out your sister for her bad life choices. It's disheartening to see how she favors one child over the others. It's very noble that you want to help them eat a decent meal as often as possible. The fact that she gets mad at you for not giving her money shows just how ungrateful and entitled she is. I would not give her another cent. She doesn't deserve it if she wastes it on expensive food for only one family member to enjoy. If you want any charitable involvement with her family, just sending food is fine. NTA, you're entitled to spend your money however you want. You're also entitled to put stipulations on any money or help you decide to give. Your sister can choose to turn down your help if she doesn't agree with the stipulations. There is absolutely nothing wrong with your niece being vegan. There is, however, something extremely wrong with your sister allowing her other children to go malnourished to accommodate her oldest dietary preferences. I don't get why Maria has to get expensive food because she's vegan. You need to supplement B12, but you definitely do not need vegan milk or vegan meat replacement products, which are expensive. You can eat oil, vegetables, and rice, pasta, potatoes, etc. This does not sound too expensive to me, and your niece does not have to give up being vegan. I'm not vegan, so not an expert. But NTA, she should stop favoring one child. But your parents are the AHs. Disowning their own daughter is cruel. Stay tuned for more stories from our girl relationships.